Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Happy St. Patrick's Day, people. I know, you're saying, Jules, where's your green? People, I bleed green, okay? I am Irish. I bleed green. Oh, but at the top of my teacher's apple, but I know, a little bit of green right there. But I just told my children, don't you dare pinch me, because I'm Irish, and it won't be pretty. Don't mess with the Irish. Anyway, we do come from Ireland. And of course, it's like 38% or something because I do have other parts. But I was thinking how I didn't have access to my ancestors or my elders, I should say, in Ireland. But God gave me a bunch of Irish people in my life in the form of nuns and priests. And this one nun, Sister Gertrude, would always say, "Oh, Juliana, you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous, Juliana." And she taught me how to make Irish soda bread, which was so fun and so fantastic. And then there was this priest, Father Sean Murphy, and he was the one who would always say, "Oh, Juliana, you're going to go to heaven in spite of yourself." Because he couldn't believe I didn't have the discipline to learn every scripture. He'd give me assignments and I'd seriously fail. You're going to go to heaven in spite of yourself, Juliana. Thank you, Father. You promise? The best. Anyway, if that's your story, cheers to you on St. Patrick's Day. It's my mother's favorite holiday, and she did name one of my brothers Patrick, which was fantastic. Okay, I am talking about cocoa versus cacao powder, okay? Because it's confusing to me. I was just a pure chocolate girl, right? But when I got into the whole vegan thing and plant-based and la la la, I was told about cacao as being really good. Then, of course, a whole nother school of thought was like, oh my gosh, it's full of caffeine. It's a excitotoxin, a term I never knew before now. An excitotoxin, it's bad news. You just need to get, plain cocoa powder. Don't have cacao. And I was just like, okay, don't have a cacao while you're trying to teach me this lesson. So I thought, let's look it up, friends. All right, it may not be an issue for you, but better to be informed. This is also from healthline.com because I enjoy the summaries and I love that bottom line. And this is cacao versus cocoa. What's the difference? If you buy chocolate, you've likely noticed some packages say that they contain cacao, while others say cocoa. Maybe you've even seen raw cacao powder or cacao nibs in the health food store. I didn't favor those cacao nibs. Oh, they were too serious, leading you to wonder how they differ from standard cocoa powder and chocolate chips. In some cases, there are important differences between such products. At other times, the only difference may be the marketing lingo chosen by the manufacturer. This article tells you the difference between cacao and cocoa and which one is healthier. Right on. So we are going to start with terminology. Yeah, it won't let me do it. That's okay. Chocolate is made from cacao beans, or rather seeds, from the Theobroma cacao tree. This plant produces large pod-like fruits, each contain 20 to 60 beans surrounded by a sticky, sweet, tart, white pulp. The contents of the beans provide the basis for chocolate products. However, there's not complete agreement on when to use the term cacao and cocoa, respectively. Some experts use cacao for the pods, beans, and ground up content of the beans, reserving cocoa for the powder left after pressing the fat out of the ground beans. Makers of raw, unroasted, or less processed cacao bean products often use the word cacao rather than cocoa, which may imply that they're more natural products. Bean to bar chocolatiers who make chocolate from scratch, starting with fermented, dried beans, only use the word cacao for the pod and beans before they're fermented. After fermentation, they call them cocoa beans. That's interesting. Given this variation in usage of terms, it's helpful to understand how cacao beans are processed. Summary: chocolate is made from seeds or beans in a pod-like fruit of the Theobroma cacao tree. Use of cacao versus cocoa on chocolate products is consistent and varies by brand. So don't assume one is better or different than the other. Straight up. Okay, how cacao beans are processed. The raw beans contained with the sticky matrix of the cacao pod don't taste much like chocolate. Therefore, even raw cacao products aren't made with beans straight from the pod. Rather, once cacao beans are harvested, they go through several processing steps. In brief, the basic process is fermentation, drying, roasting, crushing, and grinding. And let me see, is there a sixth step? And it explains each one of those in detail, but I am not going to take the time for that. That's a neat trick. I just got hijacked by a different ad. Okay. So it says to make cacao, forgive me, to make cocoa powder. Oh, God. Here we go again, right? Where every ad starts popping up and I can't get the content that I'm looking for. To make cocoa powder, the liquor, which is roughly half fat in the form of cocoa butter, is pressed to remove most of the fat. To make chocolate, the liquor is often mixed with other ingredients, including vanilla, sugar, more cocoa butter, and milk. The percentage of cacao, cocoa, or dark chocolate on a candy bar tells you how much combined cocoa powder and cocoa butter are present. The specific portion of each is generally a trade secret of the manufacturer. And yes, I'm sneezing my head off. Am I allergic to this topic? Quite possibly. Oh my gosh, I never know what's going to get me or when. All right. After harvest, cacao beans are processed to develop flavor and texture. The percentage of cacao, cocoa, and dark chocolate listed on a bar generally tells you the amount of cocoa powder plus cocoa butter is the summary. All right. Nutritional comparison of cacao and cocoa. When comparing the nutrition labels of products made from cacao beans, whether raw or roasted, the biggest differences you'll see are in calorie, fat, and sugar content, no doubt. Here's the look, and they have a whole chart on it. So it indicates by ounce, which is like 6 teaspoons, right? The calories in unsweetened cocoa powder are 64. Semi-sweetened chocolate chips are 140. Dark chocolate, like 70% cocoa, is 160. And unsweetened cacao nibs is 160. But my gosh, that would be a tremendous amount. The fat in unsweetened cocoa is 3.5. It's weird though. I mean, I guess it's just all the unsweetened is falling under cocoa instead of cacao. But again, it's at which stage, right? So in general, because I only do unsweetened anyway, it's 64 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of saturated fat. That's interesting. 5 grams of protein. That's amazing. 16 grams of carbs, 0 added sugars, 9 grams of fiber. That is tremendous. But again, 6 teaspoons would be quite a bit. And 22% of the recommended daily intake of iron. It's pretty tremendous. So cacao products are excellent sources of several minerals, including selenium, magnesium, chromium, manganese, but these often aren't shown on nutrition labels. And generally, the darker the chocolate, meaning the higher the cacao content, the higher the mineral content. Comparing nutrition labels also won't tell you the difference in antioxidant content, which can be affected by cacao variety, growing conditions, and processing methods. Generally, less processed cacao, to which less heat has been applied, such as raw cacao, contains more antioxidants. I'm going to skip the summary because if you want, you can go back and literally just read the summary if it's all you're interested in. Health benefits and risk of cacao and cocoa. Cacao beans and the products derived from them, such as rich sources of beneficial compounds, particularly flavonols, which have antioxidant, heart protective, and anti-cancer properties, among other health benefits. Cacao also contains iron that's readily absorbed by your body, unlike some plant sources of the mineral. Vegetarians and vegans may especially profit from this, as their source of iron are limited. Cacao products also contain tryptophan, which is an amino acid your body uses to make serotonin, a brain chemical that helps you relax. Despite these benefits, remember the chocolate is high in calorie. If you ate an entire 3-ounce gram of 70% cacao chocolate bar, you'd gain 480 calories, 24 grams of saturated fat, and 27 grams of added sugars. But I'm talking about non what? I want to say non-flavored, but you know what I mean. Non-sweetened and simply added like into banana and ice cream. By choosing dark chocolate and unsweetened cacao products like nibs, you can minimize health risks linked to eating too much sugar, including weight gain and dental decay. Flavor and best uses of cacao products. It's interesting how they're kind of using cacao and cocoa interchangeably in this situation because, again, it's based on the stage and, Okay, your choice of cacao products will depend on your taste buds and how you're using the product. For example, unsweetened cacao nibs are healthier than the standard chocolate chips, but you may find them too bitter. I thought they were really bitter. Consider mixing the two as you adapt. As for raw cacao powder, you may find its taste and quality superior to standard unsweetened cocoa powder. Now, see, that's of interest to me. However, raw cacao powder generally costs more. I don't care about the cost. But I do understand limiting how often and how much, and I barely ever use it, but I sure do enjoy it when I do. If you buy raw cacao powder, remember that some of its antioxidants will be destroyed by heat if you bake with it, which I don't. Consider adding it to a smoothie instead. Try using raw cacao nibs in trail mix or other uncooked creations to avoid destroying antioxidants via heat. Bottom line, well, where was the negative part? Because I thought it said healthy and unhealthy. I guess the unhealthy part is that if you're eating sweetened, you're going to get some calories out of that. In summary of this, with less processed, unsweetened, and raw cacao products can be bitter, but you may grow accustomed to the flavor. If you buy raw cacao products, understand that baking will destroy some of their rich antioxidants. Bottom line, use of cacao versus cocoa on chocolate products is inconsistent. Generally, raw cacao products made from fermented, dried, unroasted cacao beans are less processed and healthier. Still, standard dark chocolate with at least 70% cocoa is a good source of beneficial antioxidants and minerals. Therefore, choose the cacao-rich products that best fit your taste buds and budget, but enjoy them in moderation since they're all calorie dense. And again, the unsweetened ones are not calorie dense. 11 health and nutrition benefits of cocoa powder. Cocoa is thought to have been used by the Maya civilization of Central America. It was introduced to Europe by the Spanish conquerors in the 16th century and quickly became popular as a health-promoting medicine. Cocoa powder is made by crushing cocoa beans and removing the fat or the cocoa butter. Today, cocoa is most famous for its role in chocolate production. However, modern research has revealed that it does indeed contain important compounds that can benefit your health. It's rich in polyphenols that provide several health benefits because you can get unsweetened cocoa. It may reduce high blood pressure by improving the nitric oxide levels. Very cool. It may lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. Yes, please. Polyphenols improve blood flow to your brain and brain function. Awesome. May improve mood and symptoms of depression by various means, of course. I'm just rocking it on the titles right here. Flavonols may improve symptoms of type 2 diabetes. That's great. May aid weight control in many surprising ways. May have cancer protecting properties. Theobromine and theophylline contents may help people with asthma. What? That's me. Antibacterial and immune-stimulating properties may benefit your teeth and skin. I love that. And easy to include in your diet. Okay, bring it on. Bottom line, girl. Cocoa has captivated the world for thousands of years and is a big part of the modern cuisine in the form of chocolate. Health benefits of cocoa include decreased inflammation, improved heart and brain health, blood sugar and weight control, and healthy teeth and skin. It's nutritious and easy to add to your diet in creative ways. However, make sure to use non-alkalized cocoa powder, or dark chocolate containing more than 70% cocoa if you want maximum health benefits. Remember, the chocolate still contains significant quantities of sugar and fat, like made chocolate, right? So if you're going to use it, stick to a reasonable portion size and combine it with a healthy, balanced diet, which of course is a hard no for me because I just don't have balance, when it comes to things like that. So I appreciate this. This was like the double article. I didn't realize. Let me humor myself and see, is there a triple article? I may have broken them both down. Yeah, does chocolate have caffeine? Sorry, you guys. We'll have to look for one more second. Chocolate is a sweet treat often associated with an energy or mood boost. It's derived from the seeds found in the fruit of the cacao tree, which grow near the equator, and these seeds are often referred to as cocoa beans. Cocoa beans are removed from their shells, fermented, dried, and liquefied as part of the chocolate making process. Chocolate contains a small amount of caffeine as well as other substances that may help elevate mood or energy in some people. Commercially prepared chocolate products also contain added ingredients such as sugar, vanilla, and lecithin, of course. Caffeine is found in cocoa solids, but not in cocoa butter. Since white chocolate only contains cocoa butter and no cocoa solids, it has 0 caffeine. That's interesting. All right, so according to the United States Department of Agriculture, dark chocolate contains 12 milligrams of caffeine per ounce, milk chocolate 9 milligrams per ounce, and white chocolate 0. That's interesting. Thermobrine in your energy levels. Can thermobrine and caffeine cause negative side effects? Everything can. Yeah, but I was trying to think of how much caffeine is in a cup of coffee. So an average cup of coffee has 95 milligrams of caffeine. So, I mean, for just being chocolate, it's kind of a significant amount, but I mean, 1 cup of coffee has 95 milligrams. I stay away from caffeine because it aided in my migraines big time. So I stay away from that anyway. Again, I don't use cacao often, but, sometimes for fun, I do like chocolate flavored ice cream and I will use it. All right, my friends, I hope that's of interest to you. It was a lot more than I thought, but of course I'll include it in the description of the video, and you can look at all 3 of those articles if they interest you. But that's it for now. I gotta go partay. I used to be a corned beef and cabbage girl, seriously. And I loved corned beef Reuben sandwiches. So when I'm smelling all of that, I have to keep reminding myself. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could have the potatoes and the carrots and all the fun on the side, but I no longer eat dead animal carcasses, right? All right, my friends, like if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you're gorgeous. You're really gorgeous. And that you're going to heaven in spite of yourself, right? Know that you're blessed.